The Carteret County Board of Education proposed last week that, as a matter of fact, has a survey out online. Yes.
Survey?
A survey. And if you go online to the Board of Education, or if you go to Carolina Coast Online, there's a story at Carolina Coast Online about the proposal, which is for year-round schooling. And there's a link. It's not highly visible. My bad on that one. But there's a link right after the first paragraph that will allow you to log on and make your opinion known. And they don't restrict it to parents of students. They don't restrict it to the students. And they don't restrict it to anyone in the surrounding counties. So if you want, log on and make your opinion known. So for those who are listening to this program, didn't realize that, there's your opportunity to answer the survey. It's not a very long survey. It's very quick. But let's talk about year-round schools. One of the arguments, well, actually, both arguments associated with year-round schools. First, to have it coordinated, the school schedule coordinated with the community college. For those of you what are dual enrolled, okay?
Okay.
And the fact that the community college starts usually a week or two in advance of the public school system. And that poses an inconvenience, so they contend for dual enrollment. And okay, I'm intrigued. I'm looking at your facial expressions on that. That's fine. And then the other argument has to do with exams. Let's start with that issue of the dual enrollment. How inconvenient is that?
It is not.
It's not at
inconvenient
all. Yeah,
I take all my dual enrollment online, so it doesn't matter anyways. And actually, I enjoy it ending a couple weeks before. Because
Right.
For the last couple weeks of the semester, I get more of a break, and things are easier because I'm already done with one of my classes.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, with them starting before, I have no problem with going into the library and just picking out my books a little bit before my actual school starts. That's no inconvenience to me.
It doesn't matter.
Adriana.
I agree. I think it ending earlier gives me a break because I'll have so much crammed in with my college classes and actual high school classes that when the college class ends earlier than everything else, it feels like such a break. Even if it is the exact same time, it's just a little bit before.
Right.
I enjoy it.
And Francis, actually, I wish Francis was here for this conversation because
Wow.
Francis is one of the only people that I know who's taken a dual enrollment class in person during, I think it's during the school day, maybe.
Yeah.
But regardless, I heard no complaints that it started before and like the schedules didn't align.
Okay, McKenna, you
I
also
mean,
you.
I can't really speak for this because I'm not dual enrolled, but I really think that the pros like it really doesn't make any sense for it to be year round just so that it's
Right,
1
yes.
week on
You
schedule.
could
Like
just
why
move
would
it
you, well
back
like
a
it's
week
really
or two.
is it really that inconvenient?
Okay,
Right.
It's
fine.
I just don't
It's a
think
big change for a small issue.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Sure.
saying.
I should have asked you this question last week. I could have used that. I like that phrase, a big change for a small benefit. All right, let's talk about the other aspect of it. The other concern that the Board of Education has expressed on the issue of early or year-round enrollment, that could be solved by an earlier start date. What they proposed initially was, it started in December. The Board of Education offered two proposals for the calendar for the 25-26 academic year. I got to remember what year we're in. Okay. One proposal was standard calendar with the start of school date being, and I've got to go back and remember, but it was the first weekend, first Monday closest to August 25, I think it is, or August 26. So I think it's somewhere in that vicinity.
And that's pretty normal, right? Like that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we
that
That's
is-
average time, yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's state mandate. Now, the other proposal was to start school 1 week earlier, okay, in August. And if you want to pull up my calendar, have to have my calendar with me. And I'm going to get the dates here so that I'm correct on this. Got to find the month of August in my calendar. Here we go. So, yeah, it was either going to start on, if I understand this correctly, August 25th or August 18th. August 18th would have started a week early. That was in December. In the January board meeting last week, the Board of Education also took the proposal for a year-round school. And the argument in that case was, and one of the arguments for the start of the earlier, or for the earlier start date, it would accommodate you taking your end of semester exams before Christmas.
But we were already doing that before we had
The year-round
the
school.
year-round.
This was
Yeah,
the
I don't
first year that we
No,
had
wait
them
a
after.
second. No, this is not having to do with year-round school.
Okay.
It's just starting early,
Oh, just like the week.
so a week early, so that you can get your exams in before Christmas. Now,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
that was the other argument, that you right now are having to come back to school from Christmas,
Yeah.
and you are so mush-minded that it just all flowed out over Christmas, and now you've got to run around and recapture all that information. I don't think you are that much-minded, by the way. Not all of you, anyhow. But anyhow, back to the issue. The point I have is, does the fact that you have to take exams after Christmas, does that justify maybe a radical change, or even a change in writ large? Do you need a change, period?
I don't think it justifies a radical change, because I know I didn't have to take an exam, but I still had to take a unit, like I had to take a test for everything that we learned so far in biology. It was a huge grade, and I had to study for it every day the week that we got back. Like leading up to the test, every single day I went home and studied. And I don't really think that the fact that it was that it was after Christmas break affected me that much, because my teacher had had it in her mind that she had that whole week for review. She had it blocked off. We were not learning anything else because we were done learning before Christmas break, and so after Christmas break it was all review.
Anybody else similar situation?
I had to take a unit test for math because calculus is year round, but she doesn't do my teacher doesn't do midterms. She
Okay.
just doesn't like them.
Okay.
So we just did like a unit test. And it wasn't that bad. I'd say because we did have the whole week before, but I will say that was the only class that I had to actually study for anything in. So I could imagine that if you had to study for several tests, several exams, that it could be a little bit much for just 1 week.
Adriana.
I don't know if I'm a great example of this because I didn't have any in-school tests. I just had my college exams that were from my dual enrollment, so I wasn't really that worried about the break.
When did you have your dual enrollment exams?
That was before Christmas.
Okay, that was before.
It was I remember taking mine December 7th or something
Yeah,
like that.
mine was really early
Yeah.
because it was that week before.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. McKenna.
See, I'm conflicted here because I think it depends on the subject. I think for math, it's kind of hard to go back because you have to re-get in your math mind. At least for me, because I'm not great in math. You have to re-get back in your math mind, and then we have to review on top of that. So not only am I relearning the material from the entirety of the year, but I'm also just sort of relearning how to do math in general. But then for English, I liked having the break in between and then having that full week to review. So I'm conflicted because I think it depends on the subject
see both
and the
sides.
situation that you're in. Yeah.
I think I agree.
Okay. Let's talk about the conversation this past week or past 2 weeks. And was there any grumbling about the fact we've got to take exams and we come back from Christmas? Because the adults are the ones that are saying they think this is a bit of a stress. I can't address that for a variety of reasons. We didn't have cell phones when I was going to school.
True.
I know. It comes as a shock. Oh, yeah.
What?
No way!
No photo math. No.
We actually had to use typewriters. Do you even know what one is? Have you ever seen one?
Yeah.
Yes.
But no. But back to the issue. What's the feeling on campus?
Here's what I think. I think all of the grumbling was before Christmas.
I agree.
I think all of the grumbling was kind of yes, we have this break, but is it really a break? Because
we
we
have
might
to
have
stress about
review, we have to
exams,
stress
yeah.
about exams. But I honestly think I haven't heard a whole lot of grumbling since then because, we've been discussing, it clearly cleared off this past week as strictly review. I think most teachers were saying, okay, I have an exam in this class, so I'm going to give my students an entire week. Whereas sometimes the teachers would be playing catch up and they would have us learn for half of the week, and then a little, like maybe 2 days, they'd have us review.
Okay, and so in other words, you actually were doing review in advance of exams anyhow, and it'll be happening come spring.
Right.
Okay, that's the other issue, and I'm going to touch on this real quickly before we go to the news break. The complaint here also is that here is 2 weeks. Here is or here are. Do I have an English student here in the studio?
Here
Here
are.
are. I think it's
Here
are.
are 2 weeks. Here are 2 weeks. Well, here is 2-week unit. But anyhow, no, here are 2 weeks that could have been used for, the new study, the new curriculum, or the new
Semester?
semester. Yeah. Which, do you feel that you feel a loss in that regard?
You mean this week and next week?
Well, it's this week. The exams are being taken, right?
Right. And then next week we don't have school until Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Feels
is
like a nice break.
Yeah.
Yes,
Truthfully.
this is
But
why
This
I
is
feel-
actually
Feels like my
ideal.
Christmas-
This is actually
No,
because
but
we
there's
like
also-
Christmas
winter
break.
breaks.
But here's the issue with that, though, is all of our AP classes, at least for West Carter, I can't vouch for Croatan, are in the second semester.
Yes.
So at least most of them are. Or all the exams have to be taken in the second
yeah.
semester.
Yeah, that's true.
And so all of these AP teachers, these AP level curriculum that is normally like 16 weeks long, is being squished into 14 or 13 weeks long. So it's way harder, and not only AP material moves really fast as it is, and the fact that we're cutting off less time. Like I had to get my book now so I could read the first couple of chapters for my next AP. I'm taking AP Earth Environmental Science next semester, and I have to read the first couple of chapters, and he's not going to be able to teach it in class because we're not going to have time to go over it.
Okay, that's AP Earth Environmental
Science.
Science.
Yes.
Okay. So in essence, what's happening is they've shortened the spring semester, is what you're telling
Yes, the first semester is way longer than the second semester.
Which it used to be the opposite.
Right.
For
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
school, it used to be that the first semester was always shorter by at least 2 weeks.
Same.
me. Right.
Yeah.
And now
That's
they're
exactly what it
switching
was.
it, which it just feels like the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So now year-round school. The idea is you have 4. Usually, I think I've seen some where they've been broken into 3 units, but 4 units, 6 to 8 weeks long, and then you have a 2 to a 4-week break.
Wait, isn't that what Australia does? Because no, I swear, I have a friend who's from Australia, and she has like these 4 to 2 week breaks, and she goes and does like these super cool trips and
Yeah,
stuff, and then just goes right back to school.
Well, in Australia, you got to find super cool trips. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. No, but where they are located, I can imagine. Okay. Yes. But the question is, how would you feel? And McKenna, this could impact you. The seniors, they're out the door. But let me hear from the seniors what you all think about that idea. Granted, you're leaving now. You've had to deal with a traditional classroom or school environment. As we've just heard, 2 semesters. But the idea of breaking it up into 4 units, and the other aspect of this is your 10-week summer vacation goes away.
Right. So I think that I really don't like that idea. I really don't like it. And I think that the main reason, like if I'm using logic here, other than the fact that
You're
I
fine.
would hate to have my summer vacation taken away, I think it doesn't make sense for a place where we rely on summer jobs and, these businesses rely on teenagers on their summer break, helping them out.
Especially because we live in a coastal community.
Exactly,
So that's
a
like
tourism,
peak time,
yeah,
peak tourism time.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it just simply doesn't make sense, and especially for these teenagers also who need the money. So it's not just the businesses; it's like they benefit each other, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
Adriana.
I'd have to agree. I truly think if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, it has worked in the past, and kids need their summer jobs, and they need that sense of freedom away from school for that however long month period. And I don't think there's any reason to fix it.
Yeah.
Elena.
I think it's a really interesting idea, and part of me thinks that it could be like it would be nice to just have to have like breaks every 4 weeks and whatnot, to be able to go and do like cool stuff and whatnot. But I just don't think the economy here can sustain that, really.
Oh, okay. McKenna?
I bring up a separate point here. Although I understand summer jobs, like I'm not old enough to work anywhere right now as of currently, but I understand for them. But the thing I bring up here is like when I think not only do you have something to really look forward to for that long summer break, like you work all year and you're like, oh my gosh, it's June. All I have to do is get through one more month and then I get 3 months off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that having this 4-week periods, although it could be nice, like Elena was saying, to just be like looking forward to that 4 weeks, like you have that 2-week break in a couple weeks, I think it would decrease performance because like
I agree.
I think it would decrease academic performance because over the summer you get renewed. Like this is your time, you get to relax. You're not thinking about school. You're separate. You get to spend time with your family. You get to be at the beach, you get to have fun and work and make money. And then you go back to school with a renewed sense of excitement. You're like excited about your new classes. You're excited about what's to come. Therefore, you're renewed for the new school year, so your performance is better. And if we have breaks in between, then we might not be performing as well academically because it's just like, oh, I have to go back to school again. Like there's no refreshment.
McKenna's dangerous. Let me hear from you, Sally. I like that.
I have a point, which is that I think there's a reason why we get a break in the summertime because it's so nice outside. You know,
Right.
we get 3 months
Well-
to just be. I'm just saying.
Well,
It's,
the other problem you have is you've got in those summer months you've got to worry about air conditioning systems in schools that normally don't have windows that open.
that's a good point.
And
I'm
as a
just
matter of
saying.
fact, in Raleigh, there was several instances where schools had to be shut down. They had started early, and they had to shut down because of air condition failures.
Wow. I mean, we had a similar.
We
I
have
mean,
lots
the
of
heating,
issues
The
with
heating
air
is
conditioning.
basically
Oh my
broken in
goodness.
West
Another-
Carteret, so
Yeah.
It's a whole issue.
Okay. The other aspect of this, and you touched on this, Sally, and as well, McKenna, that it's the employment opportunities. And I can address this from a personal note that one of my children, I came home one evening and she was very proud. She was working at a local, as a matter of fact, Johnny Davis's the Blue Jeep. And she was learning how to handle shrimp, among other things. And in the process, she said, I learned how to count money. And I thought, okay. And so she said, let's pretend. So I gave her some money. And she said, okay, it's going to be $3.75. I gave her a $5 bill. And she said, okay, quarter makes 4 and another makes 5. So she was learning how to count money. She was actually learning something. So I contend that, to your point, Sally, that and McKenna, that there's an educational opportunity to this as well.
Exactly.
Am I thinking correctly?
Yeah,
No, I think you're
absolutely.
definitely correct.
because learning is not just sitting in a classroom. You know, learning is having different experiences and becoming a well-rounded individual in many different fields. And I think a summer vacation is pretty necessary for that.
And also, when you work in employment stuff, like, you can learn social skills from school, but they're all just your peers. When you get in a job, you're able to work with adults and learn how to talk to adults and interact. Like, that's an experience you can't really get from school other than working with your teachers, which is a whole different environment.
That's
Adriana?
the real world experience, I think, because you can only learn so much in the 4 walls of the classroom. Like actually being out there in the world and working, that's how you become an adult. Because if you spend all of your summer in a school, you're never actually getting out there.
Right.
Yep.
And for instance, I did something this summer that best experience of my life, which was just staying outside for a month and backpacking around Alaska, and I wouldn't have been able to do that for that
If you
extended
only had 2
amount of
weeks.
time
Yeah,
if I only
exactly.
had
That's the other challenge is how do parents schedule things, and also related to that, the possibility of disparity with siblings. In other words, one sibling is in a year-round school, and the other one is in a traditional school. Yet to be determined how this would all work. Okay, I want to. I had no idea what I was walking into. Go ahead, McKenna.
I have 2 points to make. Okay, my first question is, what happens to athletes? Are we still working out over
that's
the...
a great question.
So then we can't even do anything over our break if we have to stay there to do practice and performance. That just moves everything
you
around.
can't
That's
leave.
actually
You can't even
a really
travel
good
to-
point,
that is a
especially
good
for
point.
college athletes. If you're
Exactly,
really serious about your sport.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, how is that supposed to work? And my second point I bring up is in the perspective of educators. Educators are already overworked and underpaid paid as it is, and now we're just going to make them work year round. Like, teachers need the money during the summer as well. Like I know
Working
people that
different
work over
jobs,
the summer because obviously teachers don't get paid enough, so they have to work over the summer, and by doing that they take away the entire opportunity. And then, like, how are the teachers supposed to make a living? Like,
So no, I think the teachers get paid, and if somebody's listening and wants to chime in, feel free to correct me on this one. But I think the teachers get paid for at least 10 months. It's a 10 months or maybe 11, something of that nature. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
that works, but the pay
that is how
scale
that works.
is spread out over the period of
Yeah.
time. But recognizing that they, to be fair to teachers, not only fair, but also be respectful of teachers, they work far more than an 8-hour workday.
exactly.
Far more.
Both my parents stay after school for an extra 2 hours almost every day to get their work done. Like, they're already being overworked, and with this, if we were to go year-round school, the scheduling would just be entirely off. And again,
Well,
like, it just doesn't make any sense to
I'm
me.
not sure of that. We're into the weeds there, and I can't address that related to how the classroom is set up, or for that
Right.
matter, how the teachers establish their curriculum. But it is a good point. And to your other comment, and I can make mention of this as well. I know that years back, I knew teachers who looked forward to summer because you're correct. They were making good money doing painting, roofing. They were doing manual labor, which I think they enjoyed. It got them out of the
Yeah.
classroom,
Yeah.
as it were. And also, it just sort of gave them a break as well. I think you bring up some really valid points. I just want to remind folks, if you go online to Carolina Coast Online, or if you want, you can go on the social media for the community college, Carter County Public School System, and also their social media, as well as I think their webpage. There is a survey there. Give your opinion about year-round schools. They're asking just a general survey. I think it's 4 questions, and that's about it.